Number 10, Jessica Simpson. It appears that both Jessica Simpson and Ryan Gosling knew about Timberlake's shady ways for quite some time. During an interview, Simpson revealed that Timberlake had come over to her house many years ago after she had just come out of a divorce and Timberlake was fresh out of a relationship. But things escalated a little quicker than Simpson was anticipating, and the two ended up sharing a passionate kiss together. Simpson was initially very excited about this, as she was under the impression that there was a bit of a spark between the two, but she recounted how immediately after the kiss, JT pulled out his phone and started texting someone. Well, it turns out that that someone was none other than Ryan Gosling, and he revealed that he had made a bet with the Barbie actor when they were just 12 years old about who would kiss their Mickey Mouse Clubhouse star first. While there's a good chance Gosling probably forgot all about the bet and moved on since he was a functioning adult, it seems like Timberlake just never grew up and totally embarrassed Simpson. Number 9, Prince. The lead singer was a very likable person and didn't really have many enemies, but Justin Timberlake clearly wasn't too pleased with how the Purple Rain singer responded to one of his songs. After Timberlake released his hit song Back, Prince replied that he never left. While it didn't really seem like too much, JT really took the comment to heart and decided to call out Prince in his song Give It To Me when he said, "We missed you on the charts last week, damn that's right, you wasn't there." On top of that, many people were a little annoyed with JT when he accepted the Golden Globe for Best Original Song in a Motion Picture on Prince's behalf, and he decided to bend down to mimic Prince's small stature. The real cherry on top of the bizarre feud was when Justin displayed a hologram of Prince during his Super Bowl halftime performance after the late singer stated that the whole practice of holograms was demonic. Number 8, Britney Spears. This is a name that we will be seeing and hearing a lot of when it comes to Justin Timberlake. She really didn't have many good things to say about her ex-boyfriend in her new memoir, and she made some absolutely shocking revelations about her fellow singer. Now, while Timberlake had his own view on things back in the day, and many people initially felt bad for him after he claimed Spears cheated on him, it appears Britney had her own shocking side to the story. Spears is on the set of the music video for Overprotected Dark Child Remix when she mysteriously went missing for an hour on the second day of filming. Director Chris Applebaum revealed that he found the singer in her trailer where she was bawling her eyes out. That is when she revealed her phone to Applebaum and showed him that she had received a text message from Justin Timberlake which simply read, "It's over." Now, for two people who had such a long history together, that was a pretty cold way to end things, and as you will see later in this video, it wasn't the only time that JT caused some heartbreak for Britney. Number 7, SZA. Justin Timberlake has had a number of mishaps on television before, but this one really struck a chord with a lot of people who were in the audience and at home watching on TV. The two superstars appeared together on The Ellen Show along with Anderson .Paak to speak about their roles in the Troll World Tour. However, while Timberlake and Paak had every opportunity to answer the questions that were answered directly to them, Timberlake decided he wanted to try and crack open the jokes while SZA was trying to answer Ellen's questions. Timberlake kept interrupting and saying, "What are you doing to him, sis?" while using what many described as a black scent way of speaking. Aside from the fact that he was undermining SZA and not giving her the chance to answer Ellen's questions directly, many people did not take too kindly to Timberlake's fake accent. He's faced a bit of heat over being racially insensitive on numerous occasions, and this incident definitely didn't help his case. Number 6, Jessica Biel. This was more a case of the internet warning everyone about Justin Timberlake was doing to his wife. It seems like JT just can't keep his hands off anyone, as he was photographed holding hands with his Palmer co-star Alicia Wainwright. While that may not seem like too big of a deal to some people, it should be noted that Biel was pregnant with her and Justin's second child at the time. This obviously sent the internet into a huge frenzy, as many people believed the singer and actor was cheating on his wife, and it sparked so much trouble that Timberlake actually had to post a public statement on Instagram. Timberlake let everyone know that nothing was happening between him and his co-star, but he acknowledged the fact that it was a severe lapse in judgment. He also noted that it caused serious issues for Biel and his family and seeked forgiveness for his actions, but it's pretty clear that his judgment in these kinds of scenarios is not the greatest. Number 5, Kylie Minogue. Justin Timberlake found himself in hot water again over a video of him performing with Kylie Minogue at the 2003 Brit Awards in London. And with everything that's on the internet, this one has resurfaced on Instagram in the wake of the JT controversy. In the video, Justin is seen grabbing Kylie's behind while they're performing. and according to reports, he had apparently asked her for permission before the performance, but she refused. Later on, he even bragged about representing America to the fullest by copying a feel. So that's exactly the kind of person that Justin is. He has a history of harming women, and this is all a part of it. You might think this wasn't a big deal, but the fact that Kylie refused and he still went ahead and did it is a huge indication of his entitlement. This is hardly the first time Justin has been embroiled in a controversy involving a female pop star though. This wasn't a big deal, but the fact that Kylie refused and he still went ahead and did it is a huge indication of his entitlement. This is hardly the first time Justin has been embroiled in a controversy involving a female pop star though. In recent years, the once seemingly untouchable president of pop has been going through a reckoning. He's been the subject of many a think piece about the double standards women face in the music industry, so it makes sense that people are now looking back on his controversial moments and talking about his red flags. Number 4, Michelle Williams. From reflecting on some of her most iconic performances to shedding light on her conservatorship, Britney Spears' memoir is the gift that keeps on giving. Now, thanks to the audiobook, we also have a recording of Michelle Williams doing an impression of Justin Timberlake while narrating the memoir. A clip from the audiobook has since gone viral and has almost 17 million views. In the clip, Michelle recounts the embarrassing moment Britney and Justin ran into R&B singer Genuine. She said, "One day, Jay and I were in New York going to parts of town I'd never been to before. Walking our way was a guy with a huge blinged out medallion. He was flanked by 2 giant security guards, and Jay got all excited and said so loud, 'Oh yeah, faux shiz, Genuine, what's up, homie?' Britney said that Justin wasn't even embarrassed when her assistants started mocking him for the incident. In the memoir, Britney explained that she sometimes thought Justin and his group NSYNC tried too hard to fit in with hip-hop artists that they hung out with. The clip sent internet users into a frenzy, with many people joking about Michelle's hilarious impression of Justin Timberlake. Number 3, Britney Spears Part 2. Yeah, there is a lot about JT in the Britney Spears memoir, and so much so that she deserves to be on this list multiple times. While things obviously did not end well between Timberlake and Spears, it turns out there was a pretty shocking moment that happened during the relationship that more than likely was the beginning of the end. Back in 2000, Britney discovered that she was pregnant with Timberlake's child and was very excited that she was going to get the chance to start a family with her partner. However, JT didn't see eye to eye with Spears and believed that they were too young to raise a child together and wanted absolutely no part in starting a family at the time. This left Spears with a very difficult decision to make, and unfortunately it ended up with her going against her wishes and getting in a Britney revealed that if the choice had been left solely up to her, she would have gone through with the pregnancy and started a family, and this may have changed her path in life for the better. Number 2, Amanda Seales. Yes, it turns out the SZA incident was not the only time that JT was called out for being racially insensitive. Following the terrible killing of Ahmaud Arbery back in February 2020, many people took to social media to show their support for the victim's family and denounce racially motivated hate crimes. Timberlake joined in on the public outcry by posting a black and white photo of Arbery with the caption, "If you're not outraged, you should be. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery." Well, this initially seemed like a nice tribute while also calling attention to the changes that need to be made in society. Amanda Seales made a post calling out Timberlake for turning off the comments on his post. She stated that he had to be more of an ally and get in the weeds with his fans who are also fans of racist rhetoric. Seales even started her own hashtag #TurnHimOn to call out other celebrities like Timberlake who didn't want to call out their racist followers and help shed even more light on the persistent problems of racism. And number 1, Janet Jackson. Who on earth could forget about this one? It was the ultimate gaffe in the history of Super Bowl gaffes, and one that has lingered over the heads of JT and Janet Jackson since it happened. Of course, we all remember the incident like it was yesterday when Timberlake made the huge mistake of exposing Janet Jackson's chest to millions of people around the world on live TV, and this landed the 2 performers as well as television broadcasters in some serious hot water with the FCC. The incident meant that Janet Jackson was never allowed to perform at a Super Bowl again. However, Timberlake, who caused the incident in the first place, was invited back in 2018 to perform at the biggest football game of the year as a solo act. Well, even though more than a decade had passed since his last appearance, many people believe that he shouldn't have returned at all after his actions at the 2004 edition. He clearly embarrassed Jackson in a terrible way, and many people believed he never learned from his past mistake.
Number 10. Jesse Eisenberg. Having just seen the film The Social Network this past week, I understand where the star of this film may be coming from. In The Social Network, Justin plays Sean Parker, a real person who famously invented Napster and was then arrested and charged for a number of misdeeds, only briefly covered in the movie. In the years that have followed, Jesse Eisenberg has been fairly closed off about his time on set. And why wouldn't he be? He's Jesse Eisenberg. There are probably a million DC fans out there ready to cave his face in at a moment's notice. However, when he's pressed about his time working on The Social Network, there is one constant. Justin Timberlake did a great job. When someone does an incredible job on set, it's usually a really good thing, but not when the person they're playing is known to be a playboy with a penchant for the underage. Now, while there is of course nothing tying Justin's personality to Sean Parker, I just gotta say, after watching him in the role, after everything that's going on, it's scary how many times I forgot I was watching a movie. But then again, that could just be Justin Timberlake. He's just good at acting. Number 9. Janet Jackson. In 2004, a wardrobe malfunction shook the entire world because it was 2004, nothing crazy happened yet. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake were performing together during the halftime show at the Super Bowl when Justin accidentally exposed Janet to the audience, specifically her left friend. According to Justin's team, he was only meant to remove a rubber part of the costume to reveal some red lace underneath, but MTV released a statement claiming that the situation was unrehearsed, unplanned, and inconsistent with assurances that they had about the content of their performers. They claimed they had no idea that this was even happening until the very last minute. In fact, for some reason, Janet received most of the backlash from the event when it was Justin that exposed her to the crowd. Janet released a public apology, basically absolving MTV of any wrongdoing, but Justin's apology was a little harder to watch. At that year's Grammy Awards, Justin took the stage to accept his award for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance for Cry Me a River. In order for him to be allowed on the stage, though, he was made to issue a public apology for the Janet Jackson incident. The dumbest thing about the whole deal is that Janet was made to apologize for something that she basically had no control over and that was just an accident, while Justin was given a little tap on the wrist. Number 8. Britney Spears. It should come as no surprise to anyone that Britney Spears is one of the first people that I'll be including on this list. She literally wrote a ton of stuff about this man in her memoir, exposing every little secret that he once held close. The world now knows that Britney almost had a baby with him, but that he encouraged her to not have it, something that she went through with and regrets to this day. Now, I've not personally read Britney's memoir yet, however, it is on my wish list, so we'll see how much terrible info is on this man and its pages. One thing that was revealed and is public knowledge now is just how much shame Britney felt when Justin released the song Cry Me a River, directly throwing shade and blame at Britney Spears. Too bad for Britney, it's a very catchy song. Some people around the world listen to Cry Me a River, a song where Justin claimed Britney had cheated on him, while in her book she reveals the opposite happened and he actually cheated on her. The entire argument is only solved when you choose a side. I personally just don't care about either of these people one way or another, so hey, you be the judge. Number 7. Jesse Williams. In 2016, Jesse Williams delivered an incredible speech about aggression amongst police officers that was well received by a lot of people. One person who did not receive that speech super clearly was Justin. Justin decided to voice his opinions on the situation to his Twitter page. I know it's called X, I've read your comments, I just truly and wholeheartedly do not care. It's Twitter in my books and always will be. It's the same reason I don't call Facebook Meta, it just feels wrong. Justin posted to his feed that he forgets this forum sometimes. He was truly inspired by Jesse Williams' speech because he really did feel that we are all one. Quote, a human race. He received so much backlash that he was forced to remove the tweet and publicly apologize for the lap in judgment, something that Justin apparently does all the time. Jesse himself never responded to the tweet, but that right there is the biggest warning signal of all. Detachment. Number 6. Jessica Biel. Justin's current wife is no stranger to her husband being a pain in the neck. One night a few years back, Justin was spotted holding hands with his Palmer co-star Alicia Wainwright while he was still very much married to Jessica. Of course, the internet, being what it is, saw this man holding another woman's hand and automatically assumed that he was cheating on Jessica. Now, I'm sorry, but that's very stupid. If you saw that picture back in the day and assumed that that was happening, hey, guess what you are too, man? Justin was forced to release a public statement clarifying that he had in fact not done anything bad with his co-star at all. He had a bit too much no-no juice and he was not paying attention to how he was acting. He claims to have grown close to his co-star, but in more of a brother-sister kind of way. Jessica forgave him, but he continued to showcase a pattern of careless actions. He used to use offensive accents and languages during interviews and even while on stage performing his music. Because Justin associates himself with rap a lot, he seems to think that he's good to use slang and speak with an accent that just doesn't really sound right coming out of this guy. Jessica and Justin actually posted a photo together on Instagram with the caption, "Here we come, and dang, my wife is hot, hashtag time's up, hashtag we wear black." For those of you who may have forgotten, hashtag time's up and the fact that everyone was wearing black at the Grammys was to stand in solidarity with survivors of mistreatment. So maybe calling your wife hot was a bad move. Number 5, Justin himself. If there is one man on this planet who has put his foot in his own mouth time and time again, it's Justin Timberlake. Before the year 2010, this man had appeared in so many stages, so many different forums, that there is at least one little slip-up recorded at all of them. For instance, when Justin was introducing Madonna at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he made a comment that the world was full of people trying to imitate Madonna, and that he may have dated one at one point. This was in direct reference to Britney, and it made him look like a jerk to fans. He also likes to interrupt people in interviews and bombard them with criticism, but we'll get into that in a moment. This man has been making his name known around the world for a very long time, not just during his time with NSYNC, but after as well. There are a ton of on-stage instances with Justin and some other celebrities, and off-stage as well. This man was in the middle of a podcast in the early 2000s and literally told the host that he did in fact F Britney Spears. Number 4, Prince. Holograms are slowly becoming more and more normalized in the world. I was at a carnival over the summer and I literally saw a row of holographic projectors showcasing company logos and gaming items. I cannot describe to you how confusing and cool that was at the same time. The late great musician Prince made his views on holograms very public before his passing. In his world, the idea of projecting a hologram, especially one of someone who's deceased, is just straight up demonic. It's like you're taking a piece of their soul and exploiting it on stage. So when Justin started talking about using a hologram of Prince to perform alongside him at the Super Bowl, Prince's former drummer and his ex-fiancée told him that that was not happening. Okay? Prince made his views very clear and his wishes are no fakers. Justin initially agreed, but instead of performing with a hologram, a large sheet was dropped over the stage and a projection of Prince singing a track from his Purple Rain album was shown. Now, while not a hologram, this is still super creepy and made a lot of people uncomfortable. Number 3, Jessica Simpson. Betting your friend to do something stupid? Now that's awesome, it's so much fun. Betting your friend to do something to another person? Ew, gross, no thank you. Of course, in this case, the bet was made when Justin and his childhood friend Ryan Gosling were just 12 years old. The bet was to see who could kiss a certain girl first, that girl being Jessica Simpson. As luck would have it, Jessica and Justin crossed paths a few times over the years and eventually sparked a romantic connection in 2006 following Simpson's split from Nick Lachey. During their brief romance, she recalls a time when she spotted Justin texting someone moments after they locked lips. To her, this meant that maybe she did a bad job or that he was messaging another girl, but it turned out that he was texting Ryan Gosling, Ken himself, just to let him know that he had indeed lost the bet. She then admitted that she had a small crush on Ryan growing up and that Justin was lucky to have gotten there first. They of course broke up, but Jessica has very little to say in negative reference towards Justin, so sorry. Number 2, SZA. Musician SZA had to deal with Justin in a very public way on the now cancelled Ellen DeGeneres show. SZA and Justin were brought onto the show to discuss a collaboration, but it seemed like whenever Ellen would ask a question, Justin felt that it was necessary to give his answer. On top of that, he continuously calls her sis and speaks with what many people agree are stereotypical catchphrases and mannerisms usually linked to people of color. So, many people took to Twitter following the interview to ask, why was he talking over her so much? What was with the voice? And if this man calls her sis one more time, people didn't know what they were gonna do. He was accused of cultural appropriation, only speaking this way when SZA was there. But as many people know, Justin doesn't tend to speak with a specific mannerism outside of that. The interview was uncomfortable and clearly started some kind of a tension between these two. And at number 1, Justin himself. Taking the top spot and making a reappearance on this list is Justin Timberlake. In doing research for this video, I found like over 20 examples of this dude making a little bit of a fool of himself in public. He pretended to be Prince at the Golden Globes one year by crouching down to 5'2" and doing a terrible impression of him. He has a passion for imitation though, as he also did this with Rihanna's mother as he accepted his American Music Award for Best Male Soul and R&B Singer. He doesn't research the name of things before he uses them, like when he released a song called Take Back the Night, which is also the name of an anti-mistreatment organization, and he literally paid someone to pretend to be Britney Spears and crash a car on camera for his music video to What Goes Around Comes Around. I could go on all day about why this guy's not great, but I'll do that in another video. Number 10, Cry Me a River. Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake is a very catchy song, okay? It's super mean and clearly about Britney, but still, catchy. When the song was first released, Britney was sideswiped. Even the music video was clearly aimed at Britney, even casting a lookalike to play an unfaithful girlfriend. In The Woman in Me, Britney's new book, she reflected on the plot of the 2002 video, describing as a woman who looks like she cheats on him and wanders around sad in the rain, which is a very solid summation. The media backlash from the video painted Britney as a harlot who'd broken the heart of America's golden boy when she was actually comatose in Louisiana and he was happily running around Hollywood. Comatose in Louisiana sounds like the title of a book about a young man trapped in the swamps of Louisiana. I have to go write something down. Britney admitted that she was unfaithful to Justin. In a way, she kissed choreographer Wade Robson while she was still dating Timberlake. Following the split in 2002, Justin went public claiming that he would not tell anyone who his songs were actually about, telling people that they were self-explanatory. Karma came back to bite him when a book about his misdeeds was published and it sold out in the first week. It's kind of the karma that came back on the whole thing. Number 9, Palmer. Justin's current wife is no stranger to her husband being a pain in the neck. One night a few years back, Justin was spotted holding hands with his Palmer co-star Alicia Wainwright while he was still very much married to Jessica Biel. Of course, the internet being what it is, saw this man holding another woman's hand and automatically assumed that he was cheating on her, and I'm sorry, but that is silly, and if you saw that picture back in the day and thought that, then that's also silly. Justin was forced to release a public statement clarifying that he had in fact not done anything bad with his co-star at all. He had a bit too much no-no juice, he wasn't paying attention to how he was acting. He claims to have grown closer to his co-star, but in more of a brother-sister kind of way. Jessica forgave him, but he continued to showcase a pattern of careless actions, especially with his wife. He's used offensive accents and language during interviews and even while on stage performing his music, but we'll get into that in a moment. Because Justin associates himself with rap a lot, he seems to think that he's good to use slang and speak with accents that just do not sound right coming out of him. Jessica and Justin actually posted a photo together on Instagram with the caption, "Here we come and dang my wife is hot, hashtag time's up, hashtag why we wear black." Again, I'm gonna get a little deeper into that in a few minutes. For those who have forgotten, hashtag time's up and the fact that everyone was wearing black at the Grammys in 2018 was to stand in solidarity with survivors of mistreatment, so bad move. Number 8, Britney Spears. It should come as no surprise that Britney Spears is one of the first people that I'm going to be talking about on this list as someone who is the reason for karma coming on to Justin Timberlake. She literally writes about this man in her memoir so much, exposing every little secret that he once held close. The world now knows that Britney almost had a baby with him, but that he encouraged her not to have it, something that she went through with and regrets to this day. I've not personally read her book yet, however, it's on my wish list, so we will see how terrible this dude really is once I get my paycheck. One thing that was revealed that is public knowledge is just how much shame Britney felt when Justin released the song Cry Me a River, which I've already talked about, which directly threw shade and blamed her. Too bad for Britney, it's very good. So many people around the world listen to Cry Me a River, where Justin claimed Britney cheated on him, while in the book she revealed the opposite happened and he actually cheated on her. Who knows what really happened? The entire argument is only solved if you choose a side, but I personally don't care, so I will let you be the judge. Number 7, Take Back the Night. It would appear that Justin has been too busy bringing stuff back for him to, do some basic research. When Justin decided to call his next single Take Back the Night, he had no idea that the same name was already trademarked by a foundation for people affected by physical mistreatment that has been holding emotionally charged campus events since the 1970s. Thankfully, the internet exists and an education did take place. Justin was forced to release a public statement apologizing for his actions actions he wasn't even really aware of. He said, upon the release of his new single, Take Back the Night, that he was made aware of an organization of the same name called Take Back the Night Foundation. He took the opportunity to let everyone know that neither his song nor its lyrics have any association with the organization. As he learned more about the Take Back the Night Foundation, he was moved by their efforts to stop violence against women, create safe communities, and encourage respectful relationships for women, something that we all should rally on. He hoped that the coincidence would bring more awareness to the cause. His words did not make things better, considering he admitted to not knowing that the cause even existed, further showcasing the need to spread the word. The foundation sent Justin a letter claiming there would be legal action for using their name without permission, something that was eventually settled outside of court. Number 6. Impressions. Justin is a big fan of impressions, and he loves to do them at the worst times possible. There have been a few award show mishaps thanks to Justin and his ignorance. The first is when Justin imitated Prince following his passing. He took the stage to accept an award on his behalf at the Golden Globes. His impression of Prince was him crouching down so that the mic was over his head and speaking in a terrible high-pitched voice. Another incident took place a couple of years later at the American Music Awards when Justin impersonated Rihanna's mom on stage while accepting an award. He received the award for Best Male R&B Artist. First, he told his family to shut up because they were just screaming up in the balcony. He asked the audience, "How cute is Rihanna's mom?" before doing a Jamaican accent and concluding his speech with the typical "Thanks everybody." Something tells me Justin wanted a chance to do that voice in front of people, a voice that he's probably mumbled to himself time and time again. Number 5. Time's up. Sometimes people should really think before they do stuff, like when Justin and his wife Jessica Biel posted photos of themselves wearing #TimesUp pins on their way to the Golden Globes in 2018. Now yes, at that time, there was a ton of online presence for the Time's Up movement. Most celebrities in attendance at the awards show that year were wearing nothing but black and wearing the support pins. The reason people were upset with Justin was because he had just started a project with Woody Allen. For those who may have forgotten, the Time's Up movement was an initiative by women in Hollywood calling for a change in the treatment of women across the board. Woody Allen is a controversial man because of a 1992 investigation into the concerns that he had physically mistreated his daughter Dylan Farrow. Woody was never formally charged with the accusations, but they followed him everywhere he went. This led many people online to call Justin out for the hypocrisy of wearing this pin while working with Woody Allen. Justin was blissfully unaware of the controversy, but apologized for it nonetheless. Number 4. Vegas. When Justin sat down for an interview with Beats Radio 1, he talked about his new album Man of the Woods, family life, and his career path. When he was asked about the possibility of taking up residency in Las Vegas, he responded by saying it was something to consider if he ever wanted to retire, that is. He continued saying that it would feel like planning a retirement, and for some reason that was scary for him to think about. A lot of performers have purchased property in Las Vegas, not as a retirement spot, but as a home base whenever they're performing for extended periods of time. The comments were considered to be very rude, especially to anyone that is not a celebrity living in Las Vegas. According to Justin, everyone in town is in their retirement stage and they're just all old people walking with canes. He's received a fair share of backlash for the comments, but has yet to purchase property in town, so we'll see, maybe he'll do it just to save face. Number 3. Janet Jackson. In 2004, a wardrobe malfunction shook the world because it was 2004 and it was pretty tame that year. Janet Jackson and Justin were performing together during the halftime show at the Super Bowl when Justin accidentally exposed Janet's left member to the audience. According to Justin's team, he was only meant to remove a rubber part of the costume to reveal a red lace bra. MTV released a statement claiming that the situation was unrehearsed, unplanned, and inconsistent with the assurances they had about the content of the performers. They claimed that they had no idea that this was even happening until the very last minute. In fact, for some reason, Janet received most of the backlash for the event when it was Justin who ripped her shirt off in front of a crowd. Janet released a public apology basically absolving MTV of any wrongdoing, but Justin's apology was just a little harder to watch. At that year's Grammy Awards, Justin took the stage to accept an award for Best Male Pop Performance for Cry Me a River, as I've said, catchy song. In order for him to be allowed on stage, though, he was made to issue a public apology for the Janet Jackson incident. The dumbest thing about the whole thing is that Janet was the one who apologized first when she basically had no control over what was happening. Meanwhile, Justin was just given a little love tap on the wrist and sent off to do whatever he does. Number 2. to Prince in general. Now, holograms are slowly becoming more and more normalized in the world. I was at a carnival over the summer and literally saw a row of holographic projectors showcasing company logos and game items, and I can't tell you how confusing and cool that is at the same time. The late great musician Prince made his views on holograms very public before he passed away. In his world, the idea of projecting a hologram, especially someone who has passed away, is demonic. It's like you're taking their soul and exploiting it. So when Justin started talking about using a hologram of Prince to perform alongside of him at the Super Bowl, Prince's former drummer and his ex-fiancée told him that that was not happening. Prince made his views very clear, and his wishes are no fakers. Justin initially agreed, but instead of performing with a hologram, a compromise was made where a large sheet was dropped over the stage and a projection of Prince singing a track from his Purple Rain album was thrown on. Now, while it's not a hologram, this is still super creepy and made a lot of people very uncomfortable. Number 1. Jessica Simpson. Betting your friend to do something stupid? Alright, cool, that's fun. Betting your friend to do something to another person? It's kinda gross, so no thank you. Of course, in this case, the bet was made when Justin and his childhood friend Ryan Gosling were 12 years old. The bet was to see who could kiss a certain girl first, and that girl was Jessica Simpson. As luck would have it, Jessica and Justin crossed paths a few times over the years and eventually sparked a romantic connection in 2006 following Simpson's split from Nick Lachey. During their brief romance, she recalls a time when she spotted Justin texting someone, like moments after they had just locked lips. To her, this meant that maybe she did a bad job or he was messaging another girl, but it turned out that he was actually texting Ryan Gosling, Ken himself, just to let him know that he lost a bet. She then admitted that she actually had a small crush on Ryan growing up and that Justin was very lucky to have gotten there first. They of course broke up, but Jessica has very little to say in negative reference to Justin, so sorry I don't have more.